Welcome and good evening. You're listening to the second string on KRNU2. Nate, how are we doing tonight?
I'm doing all right.
All right. Good. All right. We got some basketball to talk about.
We do. We have a lot of basketball to talk about.
Oh, yeah. This is the second string, your number one sports radio show on UNL's campus. Your host right here, Alex Fernando, Nate Mielbach joining me, dropping microphones and headsets.
It was just a pair of headphones. They don't even work.
Okay, well, we work.
Yes.
We work all week bringing you the best sports update here at UNL. We got another hour of daylight. That means you get to listen to the second string while the sun's still shining. I got my shades on. We're ready, right, Nate?
Why'd you have to bring attention to the fact you have sunglasses on? This is all I'm going to be able to pay attention to.
Our listeners need to know. They got to picture it. They got to picture what's happening in this studio, Nate.
I guess. Well, we got a lot of basketball to talk about. Like you said, we got NCAA tournaments, NIT tournaments to talk about.
Got the girls NCAA tournament. The bracket just came out.
Yeah,
ladies
let's talk about that really quick right now.
That's the big one right there for Nebraska.
I was super excited. I walked in because I knew the selection show was happening right at this second. I think it just got over.
Yeah, I think it was 6-7, I believe.
But I was worried all week. I was a little less worried yesterday. The NCAA women's Twitter page put out a graphic that was like, we're mulling over the last 4 teams, and then they had a list of 8. They put the 8 teams that were like in contention, and we weren't on it.
Oh.
And I was like, okay. There's been a lot of predictions that, we were on the bubble. So I was like, does this mean
we're out or we're in?
We're out or we're in, but we are always in the either the first 4 out or the last 4 in. So I thought that meant it was a good thing for us rather than a bad thing.
Turns out it was.
Yeah, I mean, all the major media outlets moved us up to like a higher seed at this point.
Yeah.
And we got in. We're a 10 seed, which is pretty low. It's about as low as they give power conference teams in the tournament, but it's all right. I mean, after a 7-22 season, you'll take what you can get.
Yeah, I mean, just a berth in the dance for the girls. That's a big one for sure. And again, a lot better season. That's not a good sentence. Much better season than we had last year for the ladies. Kind of coming together. Big step in the right direction for Amy Williams and her program. And we're facing off against Arizona State, 7-seeded Arizona State, this Saturday at 3:30 on ESPNU2 or ESPN2. And so I don't know. I'm excited. I'm glad the girls are in the tournament. First of all, hopefully we can get a big win and kick us off right. Then just kind of work our way through. We're in the Kansas City bracket, so a lot of Husker fans.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of Husker fans.
That's going to be good.
I guess we should tell you who we play. We play the 7th seed Arizona State.
I just said that.
Oh, did you? I'm sorry.
Thanks for listening and bringing a little duo to this radio show.
I can't believe I just tuned out you telling us who we played.
Wow, some partner you are.
I can't believe this.
I can.
I'm sorry. I was looking.
You do this to me in class, so
Did I?
You tune me out whenever we hang out in class, when we're talking.
I suppose. I apologize, Alex.
Goodness.
You're much more informed than I apparently I think you are.
But yeah, no, I think it's gonna be good. Like we're
really
saying,
fun.
We're down in Kansas City, so there's gonna be a ton of Husker fans there repping. I'm actually hopefully I'm trying to get a Kansas City road trip planned for spring break, so I might be there. Maybe I can find a ticket.
That'd be
cool.
really nice.
That'd be a cool game. I should suggest that to some friends.
What day would that be?
Saturday the 17th, St. Patty's Day.
I gotta work that day.
Take it off, Nate.
I would really love to, but nobody wants to work baseball on the 17th.
That makes sense. Spring break. That's
spring break, exactly. Well, regardless, I'm really excited for the women. Like we said, coming off a 7-22 season last year, and Amy Williams, Big Ten Coach of the Year. Honestly, I think she should be actual Coach of the Year. I guess I don't really know that. I'm not in the know for women's.
Yeah, I don't know the timeline on that award, but I'm guessing they probably take into some consideration tournament games.
I do too. Yeah, and that's like I said, I don't really know the women's college basketball landscape outside of the Big Ten. Mm-hmm. I know the top, 10 teams and the Big Ten.
Yeah,
but that's about it.
You have your normals. UConn number 1, UConn, Mississippi State are both 1 seeds.
South Carolina,
Notre Dame and Louisville are 1 seed. South Carolina's up there. Texas is a 2 seed. They're likely who we would play
if we win.
Yep. They take on a 15-seeded Maine. So,
Yeah,
we
so-
also have Creighton and Iowa in our division. They face off in the first round.
Iowa has a 6 seed, even though we've beaten them by 20 both games.
I don't know how that works, but hey, if they somehow make it,
You know the funny thing
Play
is,
game.
we talked about quadrant wins. We've dunked on them all the time, and they don't use quadrant 1 wins in women's to determine the tournament teams. They just use like the normal rankings, like before the quadrants were
well,
really a
the
thing.
quadrant stuff's kind of new.
It is. No, it's new. It's new
was gonna
this
say,
year.
yeah, that
it's
was-
this
that
year.
was this
But
year.
women's still aren't using it.
Okay.
They still aren't using it, which actually kind of hurt Nebraska, because Nebraska's quadrant 1 win rating, we were 7-3 in
Oh my
quadrant 1
gosh.
games.
The one time it would have helped.
the one
For the girls, it would have helped.
yeah, the one time it would have helped Nebraska, they didn't use it. But regardless, we're in the tournament. I'm just really happy for the
Definitely.
women.
No, they've had a
they
great
deserved
season.
it.
I mean, you got to be at every game working it.
Yes.
I attended a bunch of the games. It was so much fun to watch these ladies play. And like we said, we're a fairly young team. We're only losing 3 seniors at the end of this year.
Mm-hmm.
Great opportunity for them. Get to play in a tournament game.
Yeah, just get to test.
That's a
their
great way to
resolve.
finish your senior year, no matter what happens.
Yeah.
But for the younger girls and like the rest of the team, hey, you made a tournament in your coach's second year. Like
this is exciting.
This is a big step forward, and we got a lot of talent coming back, a lot of talent coming up. These ladies are going to be rising up the next couple years here. And this is just kind of the start of it, tip of the iceberg right here.
Indeed, I'm looking forward to.
I'm gonna see if I can
game.
find some tickets for that game. I'll go down to Kansas City for that.
I'm jealous. I hope you do. I think that'll be a really
I gotta start
fun
looking
time.
for some tickets for that.
I'll have when I'm at work. I'll snake the headphone up. I'll listen to.
I'll text you some updates to the game.
Okay.
FaceTime you.
It's
and
like
stuff.
I'll listen to Kent Pavelka. I'll see what he can do. I'll have my coat like covering my ear.
Just wear a winter hat that day.
Yeah, I know. It probably will be necessary.
Yeah.
Well, regardless, congratulations to the women. It's a great achievement for them, and I'm just happy we get to watch one of our teams go dancing.
One of our teams, yeah. Speaking of the other Husker basketball team, we're in a tournament.
We did.
We're in a tournament. And again, I mentioned this last week, is a lot better than I thought we'd probably do this season.
I don't.
So
I
we
hate.
can't be that upset with the NIT.
We can't. I'm not. I'm not upset with being in the NIT. That's not what I'm upset
No,
about.
because based off the last few games for Nebraska, I thought we played well, but I figured we would be in the NIT, especially
Yes.
after that loss to Michigan in the Big Ten tournament.
Yep.
But I think
it's
we're
not
both
where-
kind of in agreement. We're very upset with the seeding.
I'm incredibly unhappy of where we're seated. Well, if you guys didn't catch it, Nebraska did get placed in the NIT. They weren't really close to an NCAA tournament. They weren't in the first 4 out. They weren't in the next 4 out, which is fine. I would also agree with that based on how the bubble kind of shaped itself for the
There's
for the
a couple
men's
teams
tournament.
that definitely kind of rose to the top based on their tournament play for their conferences and just play down the stretch.
Yeah, and some teams kind of fell back down onto the bubble, and
Yep.
it got a really muddy in the last week of the season. So I'm not upset of where we are, but the men's basketball team is a 5 seed in the NIT.
It's ridiculous. I fully expected us to be a 3 or higher, honestly.
I thought we were going to be a 2 seed, to
Honestly,
be real honest.
yeah, no, I mean, I thought we deserved it. I thought our body of work showed that.
Yeah, 2 or 3 is what I thought.
And it just blows my mind that we don't have a home game. And what really makes me mad is Penn State does. 2 weeks ago, just down the road at PBA, we just dominated Penn State by like 20 points. It wasn't even close the whole game.
No, we beat them real bad, and I mean that's a struggle where you can point and say, well, we didn't sweep them; they beat us at home too.
In an overtime, yeah, but come on.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
Penn State, Nebraska on a neutral court this year. Who are you taking?
Nebraska.
regardless of
I'm taking
bias.
Nebraska
Yeah,
right now.
exactly.
I mean, Mike
Just based on
Watkins
the
isn't back for
numbers.
Penn State. I mean, they're just not that great of a team.
Exactly.
honestly.
And I don't know how they can get a home game and we can't for the NIT tournament.
It strikes me because you look at all the teams that are above us, and some of them are fine, like Notre Dame, Louisville,
Baylor,
USC.
Baylor's kind of an iffy one.
They're in that Big 12 where it's like
It's-
the thing with the Big 12 is you just never know if the conference is really that good, or if it's just, it's kind of like the SEC in football sometimes, where you're wondering is the SEC top to bottom? Is it top to bottom really good, or do they just kind of self-perpetuate that myth of, oh wow, this conference is amazing, and when every team beats each other, it's because every team is amazing and not because every team is 2 notches below that?
Yeah, no, I mean, you're right. It's kind of that's a good comparison. I would definitely agree with that, just based on how Baylor has gone through their season, 18-14 overall record. They've had a couple big wins, had a couple not big wins, didn't do that well in the Big 12 tournament. So
it's not those teams that get me. It's Utah, it's Stanford.
Yeah, them having higher seeds.
It's Oklahoma State, which I love. I love Oklahoma State. My mom will not be happy at me for saying this, but Nebraska should have been a higher seed than Oklahoma State.
I thought Oklahoma State should have been in the tournament, though.
I wouldn't blame you for that, but
me and Dick Vitale, we both think that
Dick Vitale, wow,
he was not happy.
So regardless, Nebraska is the 5 seed. We go on the road. We play Mississippi State. We played them in an exhibition game to open the season in Starkville, and we did beat them. Which whatever. It's an exhibition game. Who cares? A lot
has changed.
Of course, a lot has changed, and they're a solid team. The SEC has been a solid conference this year, and it just frustrates me because I just have a really bad feeling about this game.
The SEC has been a solid conference, but not a dominating conference.
No.
To me, watching their games this season and watching their teams, you have a lot of decent teams, but no, apart from a couple like Florida, Auburn, nobody's really great.
And I just hate...
And they constantly kind of get a couple wins on each other, and they're calling them quad 1, quad 2 wins, and I just don't see it.
I mean, that's the thing with the quad system too, is it's it also feeds that did you do quad 1 and quad 2 teams just kind of stack on top of each other? Is this just just a self-perpetuating machine, where it's the SEC is great, it's a circular logic type of thing. It's the SEC is great because the SEC is great because they have a lot of great football teams because the SEC is really good. It's that sort of deal where I feel like a lot of the media narrative comes from. And I hate to say it, and I hate to be that guy, and I am incredibly biased, and I will admit it 100%. But I think it comes down to the name on the front of the jersey, man.
Yeah.
If Wisconsin had our record, would they be a 5 seed in the NIT?
Probably not.
See?
They would. Would Wisconsin have gotten demolished by 19 points in the Big Ten tournament, though, when everybody else is comparable to their opponent?
I'm not. I mean, that's not what I'm saying.
Just okay. So separating all the details, looking at the record and the name, you say?
Yeah.
Okay. No, I would think Wisconsin would have a home game. They'd be probably a 2 or maybe even a 1 seed, but 2 or 3 for sure. In NIT,
that's what I go with.
If not in the Big tournament.
If Wisconsin was 4th place in the Big Ten and they played a 13-5 conference schedule, people would be like, "Oh yeah, it's Wisconsin. They're having a really good year. They're a really good team. They're usually good for the Big Ten." But Nebraska's 13-5, and I know we played a weak schedule. We probably played one of the weakest in the entire Big Ten, to be honest.
The Big Ten wasn't strong overall, anyways. So it's not like anybody had a great schedule with the Big Ten.
Yeah,
conference.
and the scheduling really screwed us over. I would be fine with 13 losses if we got another round of shots at the Big 4 teams.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, it's tough to really call spoiled milk on this season because it's whining about what could have been when we didn't win the games that were in front of us, and that hurts.
Again, I can't be that upset because going into this year, I thought Tim Miles was gone. I thought Nebraska ball was going to maybe win 10 games.
I thought he was going to get fired for sure.
After that St. John's game, I thought he was done. I did not expect him to make it back to Lincoln with a job. But kudos to him and his team. They rallied. They put together a fantastic season. We undefeated at home in conference play. No Big Ten team beat us in PBA.
I know. I hate
we locked down the vault, Nate. Locked it down.
I hate calling a season where we were projected to finish, I think it was last in the Big Ten.
If not close to it.
It was either 13th or 14th, and we're 4th. And and we won 20 games, and we won a conference
22 games.
Yeah, 22 games, and we won a program record amount of conference games.
Undefeated at home conference.
I hate to call it a disappointing season. It kind of feels like that now.
It kind of is, but regardless, we're still in a tournament. I know it's the NIT. I know everybody's mad we're a 5 seed. I'm mad we're a 5 seed. At least enjoy it while we can have it.
I hope our team doesn't fold, because in the NIT it's really easy to do one of two things. It's easy to just be, I hope we're the second option, not the first, because it's really easy to do one of two things. It's easy to fold and quit and go home. I remember Kentucky missed the tournament that one year, and they literally they're just like,
we're done.
Yeah, we're done. I don't care.
If it's not the real dance, it's not the dance.
Or you can be Wichita State and say, you know what, we're gonna buzzsaw through this entire thing. We want to win the tournament.
I don't know. You're right. I hope they have the mentality going in to just really put a good streak together, play some good basketball.
Because we can win the NIT. Like
we're a competitive team. With the teams that we're matching up against, we're a very competitive team, and I think we could easily, make the quarterfinals, semifinals. I mean, those two games to win. You can easily do that, if not more. Just again having that mentality to say, hey, we're here. Who cares whether it's where we want to be or not? We're here and we're going to play.
Exactly.
Hopefully Tim Miles can rally the guys. And
I hope he can too.
The other thing too, this could be a big step forward in the progress of next season.
Yeah, I think
much like the girls, it's a tournament game.
Nebraska basketball isn't. We're not young, but we're not an old team either.
No, we have a lot of talent coming back next year.
We have most of our talent.
Most of our talent coming, our three main players.
Yeah, we have 4 starters. We're losing a senior, a guard, and our sixth man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you can replace that. We have younger guys coming up. It's not easy, but again, with most of our talent coming back, this is just a good experience. More basketball never hurts.
No, it is.
It isn't. Right direction.
It doesn't. I think it will be, and it all depends on what they have to, on what mentality they have going in. And I repeat myself, but with the NIT, that's kind of really what it comes down to in a lot of cases. It's just how much effort is the teams willing to put in. And I hope Tim, like I said, I hope Tim has the guys ready to do that. I think he will too.
I definitely think so. I'm excited. Nebraska plays 8 p.m. on Wednesday night, ESPN 2. So coming up, just a couple of days. Again, big game, Mississippi State on the road. So we're gonna need. Gonna need a good mentality going out down to Starksville again. So
yeah, they're a solid team. They're a solid team, and they can definitely beat us, just as I think we can easily beat them.
For sure. But we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we will give you all the information on the bracket that you need to have and the brackets you don't need to have, basically. I think mine's probably busted already, to be honest.
No, it's over, especially this year.
This year's been insane. I'm excited. We got some true madness coming your way here for the last half of March. You listen to The Second String. We'll be right back.
A new guideline on how to treat a first seizure has been released by the American Academy of Neurology and the American Epilepsy Society. The guideline found the risk of another seizure is greatest within the first 2 years, but that taking epilepsy drugs immediately after a first seizure may reduce the risk of having another seizure. Neurologists and patients must discuss risks and benefits before starting any treatment. To learn more about epilepsy, visit AAN.com. That's AAN.com.
Okay, here are 3 important reasons why your son or daughter should play a sport in high school.
Number 1.
High school sports teach valuable life lessons like self-discipline and time management skills.
2.
Teens who play a high school sport have better grade point averages.
And number 3.
High school sports are safer than ever before.
This message presented by the Nebraska School Activities Association and the Nebraska State Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
For a little extra help settling in at college, look to UNL's first-year experience and transition programs. You can receive one-on-one student coaching and tutoring to get you through that tough course. Or you can attend free workshops for information on stress, money, even jobs and internships. First-year experience in transition programs will assist you with academic support or general life skills to make your experience at UNL successful. Stop by First-year experience in transition programs located at 127 Love Library South.
It's cool to do some things on your own, but when it comes to straightening your teeth, trying to do it yourself can cause serious damage and tooth loss. The American Association of Orthodontists wants everyone to know that moving teeth is a healthcare procedure. It needs the supervision of an expert. Orthodontists are experts in moving teeth and aligning jaws. They have 2 to 3 years of specialized education beyond dental school in an accredited orthodontic residency program. They make sure that your own smile is your best smile. For more, visit mylifemysmile.org.
All right. Hello. Back again for more sports and sports accessories.
Sports and sports accessories?
Have you not ever watched King of the Hill?
No, I haven't. No,
Okay,
not my
okay.
show.
All right. That's fair. Somebody out there got it, and I salute you.
I'm glad you think we have listeners.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh. Wow. That's
Thank
a real
you to
call.
all our listeners. I wholeheartedly believe you're out there, and I appreciate all of you.
Yeah, there's a good recovery. There's a good recovery.
No, I'm just saying, like, I'm scared. You never know.
Oh, man.
No, we appreciate you tuning in. Again, we're here with the second string and bracketology.
My least favorite ology.
This is the study of brackets, Nate. Study of brackets.
I don't like bracketology.
Why? There's so many, like, you just...
Selection Sunday, man.
So, okay, Selection Sunday's
It's like my least favorite. Can I
Day?
say it right now? It's one of my least favorite sports days for a sport I actually really like.
Yeah.
I hate Selection Sunday. Can I say that?
I think so. That's fair. Is that a hot take? Is that your hot take of the
I
day?
think that's a hot take. I have a couple more coming up for the tournament. but
Okay.
My first hot take is I hate Selection Sunday. I don't watch it.
I didn't watch it either. We were having dinner party last night anyway, so
Yeah,
we were
I
kind
mean,
of busy. But
yeah.
No, you're right. I've never really tuned into Selection Sunday very often. If not, I'll just kind of get a couple updates. But I don't really like it that much either, and I don't think they did a very good job. There was a couple cases. I mean, there's always going to be snubs every year. That's just how it goes. But I think this year there was a couple that they really messed up.
Yeah, I think so too. You want to elaborate on that a little bit?
Well, I mean, as me and my good friend Dick Vitale already said, Oklahoma State, what the heck? Why are they not in the tournament?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Why?
Don't ask
Why
me.
are your Pokes not in the tournament?
They
Nate?
lost 14 games. You can't do that.
But they beat Oklahoma twice, I believe.
Yes,
They beat Kansas
twice.
I believe.
Yeah,
They beat West Virginia on the road.
yeah. And you know
Those
what?
are big wins.
They
And
are-
let's see, that's the thing that really gets me is Oklahoma does get in. Oklahoma lost 10 out of its last 14 games.
I don't know
10
what
out of
to
its
tell
last
you.
14.
I don't know what to tell you.
They had a losing record on the road.
Man, Trae Young though.
I don't yes, it's just TV numbers and Trae Young NBA hype, but that's not a reason to put in Oklahoma over Oklahoma State.
I know,
Oklahoma State
and I
beat them
think
twice.
I think Oklahoma State should have been in over
But
Oklahoma
why?
too.
Why don't they get in?
It's a defensible position. I think they both were on the bubble. I think they were both weak contenders, and this is what I talked about when I
Do
said
you think
know
Nebraska beats both of them?
I don't trust Nebraska to guard Trae Young, to be real honest. I love Nebraska, and I'd love to be able to say without a doubt, oh yeah, we'd roll Oklahoma, but I don't know.
What about Penn State? They're top seed in the NIT. They're 4th seed, I guess. Not a top seed, but
I don't know either. I couldn't see, I don't hate Oklahoma getting in the tournament. I wish Oklahoma State was in the tournament. If they won 2 more games, they would be in. Like, for sure.
I don't know. I think the 2 games on top of Oklahoma kind of matter. Those head-to-head matter to me. I don't know why.
College basketball,
that's one thing-
head-to-head games don't matter.
That's what drives me nuts with this. With college basketball, with men's basketball, why doesn't head-to-head matter? Well, like,
I don't
especially
know.
when you play them more than once. Like, one game, sure, but if you play that team twice, both home and away, and you lose both of them, that should be a deciding mark, or at least it should count for something.
I don't.
It counts
disagree.
for a lot in football. Well, kind of.
Kind of.
We've already had playoff discussions with head-to-head not really mattering.
Yeah, it's part of the college basketball, discussion. It's stats. It's KenPom numbers. It's RPI. It's strength of record. It's strength of schedule. Like, that's important. It's not. It's
not
really only. It's really only tangentially about who you beat, and that's what kills me about Selection Sunday. I like the games. I like the tournament. I like the upsets. I like the season. But the whole numbers I don't want to even say glorification, because I feel like I might have gotten a reputation for saying I don't like the numbers. And I'm not a numbers guy, but it's like, I know I like numbers. I like the statistics. I think they're accurate. It's not why I find basketball fun, is the statistics. Mm-hmm. And that's all this nitty-gritty NCAA tournament selection stuff is. It's all of the numbers crunching. It's all of saying, well, Oklahoma has a 36 RPI, and their strength of record is in the 20s. This means they're better than Oklahoma State.
They lost 10 out of the last 14 games with that strength of schedule.
Eye tests.
They got their butts beat. 10 out of the last 14 games.
I'm not disagreeing with you, man.
That's a terrible record.
And it's quadrant one wins and losses, and that's the reason they have, because they have 7 quadrant one wins.
That's a 28.5% record in the last 14 games. Like, they won 28% of their games.
They have 7 quadrant one wins.
And how many quadrant whatever losses? Like quadrant 3 losses?
They have it's part of that. It's part of that Big 12 circular logic thing, where all their losses aren't that bad because the Big 12's so good.
I guess. I don't know. Were there some other snubs or some other interesting teams that you thought?
Middle Tennessee State. I know, and they got snubbed a year or two ago. I think, I don't remember which one, but it just stinks when fun mid-major teams get left out for a really boring Power 5 team like Syracuse or Arizona State. It's like those teams are boring. They stink. I don't want to watch a Syracuse game. Like, they stink. They're a middle of the road ACC team. I don't want to watch them play in the tournament. I'm not going to tune in.
That's fair.
Middle Tennessee State, they're exciting. I want to watch them play. I think they're a fun team, and whatever. In small conferences, win your tournament. Otherwise, you're out. College basketball isn't fair. It's decidedly less fair than college football. It's more fair than college football is, but it's also decidedly not fair in general. But
what, the NCAA isn't fair with certain aspects of their sports?
Not really. But
again, that's probably another discussion to have.
It is a other discussion to have. But they're the team that everybody's like, ooh, they're really fun. I want to see them get in the tournament. And they're like, nope, you can have an 18-12 Syracuse instead. Have fun watching Jim Boeheim lose in the second round again. I mean, enjoy.
I mean, he'll probably lose in the first. They got to go.
No, I mean, this is the year where Syracuse. It reminds me of Syracuse.
TCU.
Yeah, I think they'll lose.
That tough Big 12 team. Middle of the road, tough Big 12.
Yeah, we'll see. That's a game I want to stay far away from in bracket. That's one of those flip a coin games.
There's a couple on here that are really interesting.
But other than that, I don't think anybody got too snubbed. There are a couple teams I was glad to get in. St. Bonaventure they got snubbed a couple of years ago.
Yeah, they're in a
really
play-in
bad.
Game.
So I'm glad that they got in.
Davidson back in for the first time since 2015.
I'm excited for the Davidson. They got a tough team.
They're scrappy.
They might give Kentucky a little bit of a run in the first round.
I think so.
I mean, I think Kentucky's going to win, but
hey, my Jacks, South Dakota State.
Hey, congrats.
Represent
good job.
Home, not really a hometown team, but home state.
USC got left out.
That
one
was a big one.
It was probably the biggest one because they are the highest rated RPI team to get left out of the dance ever. They're the 34th ranked RPI team this year, which is, like I said, the highest ranked ever to get left out of the NCAA tournament.
Yeah.
Which is fine. at least personally for me, because RPI is kind of a joke stat. It overvalues a lot of things. It undervalues some things. It's just not a very accurate statistic. And on one hand, I'm happy that the NCAA selection committee does not follow it too closely. On the other hand, they obviously do follow it really closely. So not leaving them out is kind of just an indicator that the NCAA just kind of picks teams and then selects the criteria to retrofit the selections afterward.
Yeah, that one was a head scratcher for sure.
I mean, you say RPI is still a really important stat. It's like the number one stat you can measure. But then you leave the 31st, 4th ranked RPI team out. That just doesn't make any sense to me. I don't get. And like I said, this is also why I hate Selection Sunday, because the committee just selects whatever teams they want, and then they just retrofit the data to fit them as they please. Remember when they selected like 19 and 11 Tulsa like 5 or 6 years ago?
Yeah.
And everybody was like, this is like the worst team to select. And they were like, but KenPom and bracket matrix ratings. And you're just like, I don't.
Where are you coming up with this stuff?
I don't
Yeah.
care. I don't care,
No,
selection committee. I really don't. I mean, it was fine. They lost in the play-on game, I remember.
Yeah.
So who knows? But
You just
I've been
never know with
ranting.
this
I've been
sport.
ranting about the selection committee for
I'm
like
gonna let
10
you
minutes.
Go, yeah. That's just how the sport is set up. That's how this bracket is set up. Is people get left out. There's always going to be controversy with people left out, left in.
I'm not super salty that teams get left out. Teams get left out every year.
Yeah.
I mean, Nebraska didn't get left out. They played themselves out.
Yeah.
In my opinion. So I'm not
I
salty
think
about
so.
that.
I expected Nebraska to go to the NIT, but again, with a body of work like Oklahoma State's, where like all their quad 1 wins, those quad 1 wins mean nothing apparently.
It's, throw your hands up, say I don't know.
Let's dive into some of these games. We got a few days for all the big games start, but like
I mean, let's try and go through all of them.
go through all. Right,
I mean, we have 30 minutes left.
yeah, we can help some. We got a little bit of NBA talk too. Later.
Yeah, we don't have a show next week. We got to make
That's
up
right.
for it.
We're gonna be off next week for spring break.
So I mean, we don't have to say much. We can just say anything
I might
about.
be here. I'm not,
yeah.
If we're here, we could do it. We're not entirely sure.
We're not either.
Probably not gonna have a show though.
All right, so let's start. We don't have to say it. We don't have to go in depth about all the teams. We can just say a few words since, there's 64, 32 games to cover.
Yeah.
So first up is the South bracket. We're headed up by the 1 seed Virginia playing UMBC.
UVA all the way.
They're a team that I think could win the championship.
They're a very dangerous team. A few stumbles, but again, like we've said kind of earlier in this show and also just earlier this season, there's no outright favorite this year.
No, there isn't. There really. I remember in 2013, everybody picked Louisville to win.
Who?
Let's drop the act for this one because I actually want to make a point here because I remember everybody picked Louisville. I picked Louisville to win that year.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of reputable people did too. And when they won, I was like, oh wow, I picked the winner. That's real cool. But
everybody kind of knew it.
Yeah, but everybody kind of knew it. This year, I don't know. When we get to teams as we move down to things, I'll indicate whether I think they're a legitimate team to win the championship or not. Okay. There's a handful. There's about 6 to 8 of them that I think could potentially win the championship that the stats back up. And Virginia is definitely one of them. They play lockdown defense.
I think Virginia is a great team. Definitely one of the favorites that could has definitely one of the better chances to pull this whole thing off.
Defense is really important, and Virginia can put the clamps down on opponents.
For sure.
I mean, they held like Pitt to 9 points. I know Pitt's like the worst team in the conference basketball, but they held a team to 9 points and a half. Like that's absurd. Like regardless of what you stack it. All right, moving on to the 8-9. It's Creighton and K-State.
Go Jays.
I suppose.
My uncle's a big Jays fan.
No, that's fair.
I mean,
that's fair.
A good rivalry with Nebraska. Yeah, we can never beat them.
I'll root for Creighton. They represent Nebraska in the tournament, so I'll root for them. K-State, hopefully we'll get a good Bruce Pearl reaction face. He makes some really dumb reaction faces.
Kentucky and Davidson.
I'm gonna give a national title contender alert for Kentucky.
What?
The stats back it up, man.
You were just ripping on the stats like 2 minutes ago.
I like the stats. I said I don't like the stats in relation to selection.
but just in relation to the game.
In relation to the game,
that's good.
it's very telling, and they have the offense and the defense ratings to back it up, and the weird thing is like every team who has won the championship has had like a specific ratings in these categories. I didn't look too hard into it, but they listed all of these teams, and I'm inclined to trust the statistics on this one.
I don't know. You were saying earlier, I think Davidson's a scrappy team.
I do
think
too.
They're a tough team to beat.
They are,
and they're gonna make Kentucky work for it.
They're gonna make them work for it. I think Kentucky's gonna win.
Kentucky's had some slip ups this year.
Yeah,
they're a team that, I don't know. They have some chinks in their armor, and I think Davidson's a team that can usually find those.
Yeah,
when they face
they're
off.
Extremely well coached.
Yeah, so that one's going to be an interesting game for me. I'm not entirely sure where I'm going yet, but that one's one to watch.
It's a trendy upset pick for sure.
That one's one to watch for sure in this tournament.
Next is Zona in Buffalo.
I was hearing earlier, Arizona's a team to watch with to take it all.
They're not part of the stats don't back them up, but I think it's their defense they're really, really thin. They only have about 6 or 7 quality players that they can throw out there, and it won't matter. They're going to beat Buffalo pretty easily, in my opinion. But against Kentucky, against Virginia, like that's going to matter. And I know they have DeAndre Ayton.
What's his last name? Gosh, I'm just slipping on it.
What?
I'm slipping on his last name.
Who?
The Arizona center.
Ayton?
Ayton, thank you.
I said Ayton. I'm not the only one who's not listening.
Oh, did I miss it?
You did miss it.
I thought you just said DeAndre.
Yeah, no, I said DeAndre Ayton. Regardless.
I'm going to go check the tape after this.
Okay, they have a good player. And that means they can win. That's all there is to it. Miami versus Loyola Chicago. Miami had a nice season. Not going to win the tournament, though.
Nah.
They'll win this game, but not it. Tennessee versus Wright State.
I like that upset. That'd be cool. That'd be a fun one.
It would be a fun one. Loyola Chicago had a nice team this year.
It's a bracket buster for sure.
It is. And one of these teams is going to be a bracket buster. It's Tennessee versus Wright State. Again, both teams had a nice season. Both teams ain't going to win the tournament.
Yeah, definitely not.
We have Nevada at Texas. Texas sneaking in on that good old the Big 12.
Texas
Big 12
has been playing well lately, though. They're a trendy team. They could win at least one, maybe 2 games in this.
They're good. They're a nice upset pick. I think I'd flip a coin. It would be a very trendy pick to pick them over.
I haven't seen Nevada
team.
play much this year.
They're
at all,
solid.
Actually,
they were the best team in the Mountain West.
Okay.
By far. They were I thought they were better than Boise State, which made the NIT. But, you never know with like the smaller conference teams how they're going to perform.
Yeah, they're just not on TV as much for us to watch. So
Cincinnati, Georgia State.
Ooh, them Bearcats.
Stats also back them up as a potential title team.
I don't know. This year is just full of it. I mean, we're only through one section of the bracket, and you named off 4 potential winners.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if any of those teams came out of the South. And I just named the 4, 5, 1, and 2 seed, but they're all good teams, and they all could take it. I'm going to pick Virginia to come out of the South. I think ultimately, if you force me to make one bracket to end it all, I would pick Virginia.
Yeah, Virginia's looking really good.
I think they're solid.
I think their finish in the tournament or the ACC tournament was pretty solid. First ACC since 2014?
Yes,
something like that. Yeah. So I thought that was a big pick. Moving down to the West now, Xavier number 1 seed.
Stats back them up.
Xavier's looking good. I mean, all the number 1 seeds, I thought they picked those very well this year.
I think
I'm fully supportive of all the number 1 seeded picks.
I think Xavier has a pretty solid. I think their run. I think their way to get to the Final Four is pretty solid in my opinion.
Yeah,
they played Missouri, Florida State. I think Florida State's a pretender. I think.
Really?
Yeah, they've just not played very well the rest of this like last bit of the season.
And you're going to take a middle of the road SEC Missouri?
Yeah, I'm actually going to take.
That's kind of disgusting.
Yeah, Michael Porter's really good.
I can't stand Missouri. I'm sorry.
That's fine. I don't care, but I'm going to pick them for my bracket regardless.
Fair enough.
Yeah, like we said, we switched on to Missouri, Florida State. I think Florida State's a pretender, and they're not very good, and I'm picking Missouri.
Oh, hey, this is the game I'm looking for.
Ohio State versus
South Dakota State.
Sodak.
Sodak.
Stop.
South Dakota State. Go Jacks, Nate. You watch out for them Jackrabbits.
I'll root for them, but their Keita Bates-Diop is gonna.
If Penn State
Gonna
can
turn
beat
it
Ohio
out.
State 3 times in a season, South Dakota State can do it once.
Okay, but you pick them in your bracket then.
I gotta go with a home state.
Ohio State, they're a good team. I don't think they're a title contender, to be
The
honest.
Zags up next.
Stats back them up as a title contender. I haven't watched a single Gonzaga game all year. I feel bad
You usually
because they're
never
all
do
really
until
good.
the tournament.
Yeah.
That's kind of how Zaga works.
Yeah, so I don't know who their good players are.
This one's
I feel real bad.
This one's a little bit of a trendy one. This next one, San Diego State and Houston.
Is it a trendy upset?
I like it. I like San Diego State in this one.
I've actually watched a couple Houston games this year, and I like the way they play.
Oh, all right, give me a reason why.
I think they have a lot of length. I think some of their shooters are really nice. I watched 2 games, so I didn't commit any of the names of the players to memory, but I liked the way they play. I thought they, just ran some nice offense. And like I said, I like their size. I like their length. I don't like them much more than winning this one game, but I don't think San Diego State is going to get in the tournament.
Very far.
Very far, yes.
I don't know. I thought they had a solid win a solid streak at the end. They won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Their last 9 games. They're scoring pretty well. The defense again has been pretty good. They're 61st in the nation points allowed. So one of the not great but not bad.
It's fair. You know what? You're probably right. I'm just biased against the team I've actually seen.
I got a gut pick on this one. I'm
okay,
sorry.
No, that's
all I'm
fair.
gonna say.
That's what the NCAA tournament is. That's how you win your bracket challenges.
You got those gut picks. Yeah, that's one I think that's going to be interesting.
Yeah, but I don't think either of those teams are winning their next game because they have to run into Michigan, who plays Montana. Congrats to Montana picking up their Big Sky Conference win.
Big Sky, oh yeah.
Congrats to them.
It's not going to go very far.
No, Michigan's played insanely well.
Michigan is on a huge hot streak right now.
Maybe the crappy Big Ten scheduling has cooled them off, but I don't think so.
Impressive show in the Big Ten tournament, though.
Incredibly impressive.
They
looked
flat
good.
out dominated everybody in their path.
Yeah,
especially Nebraska.
Yeah.
But Michigan State, Purdue, they didn't they kept them at bay as well.
The stats don't back them up, but I think they're one of those teams. They're a trendy.
I think they're a dangerous Final Four team.
I am too. Texas A&M and Providence, solid seasons. Providence, man.
Providence. I'm telling that's another gut one.
I'm with you, dude.
I don't want to bet against Providence.
They looked real good.
I do not want to bet against Providence.
If St. John's made it in the tournament, I wouldn't bet against them.
St. John's trended up, yeah. No, I mean, you're right. Providence they're just a team that I don't want to pick against right now.
Yeah, and Texas A&M, they kind of. They're like all the other middle of the pack SEC teams, where they kind of beat some teams and then they lost to others.
They're just
and
there because SEC. Why not?
Yeah, it's like who knows how good they actually are in relation to other conferences.
I honestly thought Providence was going to pull the upset on Nova in the Big East tournament. Too.
Almost.
They're taking them to overtime. Nova's not a team that you take to overtime very often.
Nope.
And so that again, I would not want to pick against Providence right now.
North Carolina versus Lipscomb. Stats don't actually back up North Carolina.
Really?
Nope.
Good, because I had them. I'm losing fairly early, I think.
That's
most of my
fair.
So far.
I actually wouldn't be surprised if they made a run. They're one of those teams.
They're like
that Michigan where I think, and I know I'm like talking down to the 2 seed in the bracket, but they're well coached, and I think they could make a heater in the run. But I think
they're North Carolina. You know what they can do. They're very well accustomed to this scenario and being in the tournament. I haven't. Watching their games this year, I haven't seen that true North Carolina vibe from them.
Yeah, no, it's fair.
And so I'm just
we'll see. They don't have that star player.
I don't see them surviving very long this year.
No, that's fair. Who do you like in the West?
In the West, I think Xavier or Michigan. Those are my top. I haven't quite figured out who.
I'm gonna take the Zags. Why not?
The Zags?
Why not? I haven't seen a single game of them this year, but I'm just gonna take
last year.
Mark Few has coached there for 20 years. I don't know why I would ever bet against them.
I always like watching the Zags, and I bring them pretty far usually, but And last year I had them winning it. Couldn't quite get it. They had a great run, pretty close in the finals.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Michigan's on a hot streak right now, but Xavier just looks really good on the offense.
That would probably be my second pick. Pick.
If I had a
2-1
Cinderella,
seeds.
if I had a Cinderella for the whole tournament, Providence. I'm not picking against them until
That's fair.
absolutely
That'd be a
necessary.
very trendy, 10 seed to Final Four pick.
That'd be insane.
All
I
right,
love it.
Make
Make it happen.
I keep kicking that headset, but let's pick it up in the East. Villanova versus a play-in game.
Nova. Nova's way too strong.
They got some of their players back from injury.
Yeah, that's a bit. I mean, they've had a couple stumbles the last few weeks,
But
and
that's
everybody's
because they've
like,
been
"Oh,
injured."
they're weak. They're like not a full tournament team." They've had a lot of injuries this season.
They have.
Bringing some people back, playing some tight games. They're just kind of getting the rotation, the chemistry back. I think they're going to be tournament ready, and especially getting a couple. Getting to play in, having a number 1 seed, they played a great all season. So having one game to really kind of get their feet under them, they'll have a tough matchup with whoever they get, because this 8 or 9 seed is brutal.
Va Tech, Alabama. Do you want to play against the?
This is brutal. Who do you pick?
I think Alabama. Do you want to play against Colin Sexton? Or VTech? I think VTech. I think you want to play against VTech.
If I was Nova, I mean, yeah, you probably want to play against VTech, but they're prone to upsets. I mean, they pulled some tight ones. They pulled off a big upset against UVA earlier.
Against
Duke. I mean,
it's tough. And
that's another game that I have circled that I want to sit down and watch it. The Virginia Tech Alabama. I want to sit down and watch that whole game.
They got good players. It's 2 solid teams going against each other, and whoever wins will have a really nice shot against Nova, because Nova they rely a lot on the 3-point shooting.
Yes.
And I don't think they're going to go out in the second round like they did last year, but
It's a Nova thing to do.
it's such a Nova thing to do.
A few years ago they won it. I was very happy. I actually picked them that year. So, but you just don't know with Nova. They're a team that could go to the Final Four, even go to the finals. They're a team that could lose second round, and they
Yes.
do that quite consistently. That Virginia Tech Bama game, that's gonna be one to watch though. Moving down next, West Virginia and Murray State. Nate.
West Virginia, they're good. They're not great. They're going to beat Murray State.
Can they beat Wichita or Marshall?
Yeah.
Next game up.
I think this East bracket is.
But the Shockers, Nate.
I think
Just down the road.
Wichita's. They're gonna. I think they'll beat Marshall. I do. I think they'll beat Marshall. This East bracket is the weakest. It's the weakest out of all of them. I wanted to pick somebody
I would
over
say
Nova.
so.
I'm picking Nova to go to the Final Four, and I wanted to pick somebody against Nova, but I don't know. I can't.
No,
What team are you picking over Nova?
maybe Purdue.
Do you have faith in Purdue?
No, I don't. Boiler down for sure. They're too hot and cold for me. Just because it's always been my team since I was a little kid. I just love watching them, especially when Brad Stevens was coach. But Butler, I just love picking them. I always think they're a great team to watch. So I mean, another random upset pick or Cinderella story. Throw Butler in there, but you're right. This that the top of that East side bracket is that Nova play-in game, and then the Virginia Tech Bama. That's kind of the main core of this bracket. The rest of it doesn't really follow suit that much. Texas Tech, Florida, a couple dangerous teams could cause a couple upsets, but not Final Four, not championship ready.
Texas Tech. I hate calling them a pretender because they're decidedly not that. But in terms of the NCAA tournament and how far they can get, I think they've shown in their last 6 or 7 games that they're just not a Final Four. They're not a championship quality team.
Yeah. So I'm looking at Nova probably to come out of the East.
The stats check out for both Nova and Purdue, and I think Purdue could make a run, but
They've got the talent.
Yeah.
I just don't think they bring it all together when it's necessary.
yes, it'll be rough. Now let's move to the last bracket, the Midwest. Kansas versus Penn, a trendy 16-1 upset pick.
Really?
Yes, actually.
Why is that?
Penn's a good team. They won the Ivy League. Those Ivy
Those
teams
Ivy
are
Leagues are dangerous. Do not mock those Ivy League kids. They know what's up when it comes to books and when it comes to balling. That's fair. I mean, big win for them too. This is the first time they've won Ivy in quite a while.
I think so. I don't know the exact.
I saw the update. I'd have to go check it, but no, first time for.
I think Kansas is going to win, but it's a. Don't say you haven't Don't say you don't have a bracket that this is that Penn isn't winning in.
That's an upset that you could definitely pick and not feel terrible about either way.
I think so too.
I think that's going to be probably one of the better games of this first round.
Seton Hall, NC State, Kevin Keats. All he does is win.
NC State.
Yeah, that's fair. I'd pick NC State too.
State.
I wasn't impressed by Seton Hall looking at their record and their stats.
I have not been impressed by them.
Clemson versus New Mexico. Clemson, good team, not title contender.
Possible upset?
No. Yes, actually it is.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of people do like New Mexico State. They rebound the ball really well. Check out the stats for them. I think I read an article that's picked New Mexico.
NCAA men's rebounds.
I think it was rebounds that they rebounded really well.
Yeah, they're fourth in the nation in rebounds.
Yeah, that is it.
I mean that's a big thing.
They're like the best. They're one of the best offensive rebounding teams in the country.
419 offensive rebounds.
Yes, it's a 5.5 point spread.
This is another one I just have one of those gut feelings on. I don't know. It's a lot of those 5-12 seeds.
Yeah, like that's the one.
Those always dangerous. Always dangerous. And that's one you got to be careful of.
Auburn versus Charleston. Auburn, another solid team that isn't going to win the title.
No. Maybe Sweet 16, Elite 8.
TCU versus the 11 seed.
Arizona State, Syracuse. There you go.
The boring blender of the Final Four pick. It's like, okay, I don't care.
I'll take the Horned Frogs in that.
I'll take the Horned Frogs too. I think they're better than both Arizona State and Syracuse, which have both shown themselves to be very, very mediocre.
Here's a team I know is fairly dangerous. You've been very high on these
stats. Check out.
The stats check out. Michigan State, Sparty. Who are they taking on?
Bucknell.
Bucknell, yeah. I like it. I like them a lot in the Midwest.
I do. I like them a whole lot.
There's a couple teams in the Midwest, like Kansas, obviously always formidable.
Duke's a good team.
Duke's, I think they're going to go out early in this year. I don't know. I have a gut feeling. Also, I cannot stand Grayson Allen, so the sooner he's gone,
he's a uniquely unlikable person.
The sooner he's gone, the better.
Exactly.
Please get him out. Did you see his hip check the other night?
No, I didn't. I don't want to.
It was bad. He going up the court. He saw the guy come behind him, and he was kind of falling back. Just sticks his hip out, trips him intentionally.
Did they win the ACC tournament? Duke did. I think they beat North Carolina.
I believe they did. No, somebody else beat North Carolina. Virginia beat North Carolina.
Virginia beat Duke. They won the tournament.
Virginia won the tournament.
Okay, good. I don't know why I don't watch not Big Ten tournaments.
Basically.
But, yeah, I think Michigan State, their math checks out.
Michigan State's a dangerous team in the Midwest. And another one, Rhode Island.
You want a hot take?
What's your hot take?
Oklahoma's going to win.
Don't do this to me.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I can't, man. Oklahoma's going to win. I can't.
Don't do this to me, Nate.
I got that gut feeling, dude. Trae Young, he's going to drop 38 points. Do not lie to me. You know that might happen.
If he does, we're in trouble, but God, I just don't want Oklahoma or Duke.
I don't want either of them. I think whatever team wins that game, I think Duke's going to annihilate them. Duke is so much better than Oklahoma, and I think Duke's a lot better than Rhode Island. I'm picking Oklahoma on the upset.
Okay.
I think people are going to be like, Oklahoma, they're going to lose one and done, and they're just going to come out and they're going to beat Rhode Island. Everybody's going to be like, oh, I guess they deserve to be here. They hashtag, asterisk, they really didn't. One game does not a sample size make, but
okay, fair. That's fair.
I'm picking them to upset Rhode Island.
I think Midwest overall, Michigan State's probably the most dangerous team.
I'm picking Michigan State.
I think they're Final Four material for sure.
Yeah, for me that makes Virginia, Gonzaga, Michigan State, and Nova.
Okay, I'm thinking Virginia. Yeah, this Xavier Michigan one's tough. I'm going Xavier. I know it's going to be a lot of one seeds here. I'm sorry. Xavier, Virginia, Nova, and then probably Michigan State. Again, that South bracket is easily the toughest one.
It's incredibly tough.
I think it's the toughest one.
I wouldn't be surprised if Cincy, if Arizona, if Kentucky, if
Cincy,
Virginia.
Arizona, like they're all dangerous teams that could really, if they get a hot night, like they could easily knock someone off.
And the East teams too. I mean Purdue, like that just sounds like a trendy pick. Like I'm almost talking myself into Purdue making the Final Four, and I know that's a mistake.
No matter what, your bracket's busted right now.
It's busted. It's broken.
It's busted already. That's all I know. I already got a couple brackets done, and I'm looking at them like, yeah, you're just not.
Yeah, Stephen F. Austin's going to beat
left.
T-Tech in the first round, and I'm going to pick Texas Tech to go to the Elite Eight, and it's going to be like,
it's just gonna
whatever.
be a mess.
Whatever.
But watch that Providence team. Watch them.
No,
I'm calling it now.
I'm picking them for against Texas A&M too, dude.
No, A&M. Sorry.
All right, we got that's our NCAA brackets. Don't tell us we didn't warn you.
It's busted.
It's broken.
It's crazy.
All right, we got a couple minutes.
Madness.
Yeah, we do. It is madness. I don't even remember what we talked about for the last 20 minutes, but it was something.
Nate.
So Alex, we got a couple minutes left. Do you have any
NBA
other
news?
Yeah, what story? Just
few NBA updates. Right now, the Rockets are absolutely dominating the Spurs.
you know, if the Spurs lose, they're going to be the 10 seed in the West.
That's crazy.
The West is so packed in.
The West is ridiculously packed.
The Jazz have won 18 out of 21, and they haven't moved up a spot.
It doesn't make sense. But I mean, Donovan Mitchell, he's grabbing that team and just dragging them. He's like, "Come on, guys, we're going to the playoffs, and it's gonna be okay."
Rudy Gobert's real good too.
Rudy Gobert's having a great season. James Harden just doing James Harden things. They're up by 12 on the Spurs right now. And did you see LeBron last night?
I saw the highlight.
The highlight? I mean, there's not much more you need to see. Kind of took it to the Lakers.
I mean, LeBron did. The rest of the Cavs, not so much.
No. I mean, LeBron's going to take it to anybody. But no, I thought it was pretty cool. That for those of you who didn't see it, LeBron had a very, very good no-look pass. He's just sitting out there palming the ball, acting like he's just going to little drop over to Kyle Korver, and then he just flashes it down to the lane, wide open. Oh, my gosh.
It was good. That was
a good pass.
Real good.
I'm really jealous. My boss is actually, she flew down to Phoenix. She's going to go get to see LeBron and Kyle Korver play in Phoenix against the Suns. And she actually grew up a few houses down from Kyle Korver. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so she's kind of excited to see her hometown friend and stuff. But I don't know, Kawhi Leonard, he's supposed to be coming back soon.
They need it. The Spurs need him.
The Spurs need it bad if they're going to compete.
The Spurs play 4 teams with a losing record in their final 14 games or something like that.
It's not going to matter that much because, I mean, it's whoever wins the Rockets-Warriors series in the playoffs is basically NBA champions already. I mean, LeBron will carry his Cavs to the finals probably. Maybe I don't know. Do you think
everybody on Boston is injured.
Basically, everybody on Boston is injured.
Marcus Smart's out indefinitely with a thumb. He tore something in his thumb. Kyrie is out day to day with knee issues. Hayward's still done for the year. They're imploding. Yeah, Raps. DeRozan
will be there. Kyle Lowry tends to forget the playoffs are a thing, and he fails to show up. So, I don't know. I'm concerned about the Raptors. Just like they're playing really well. They knocked off the Rockets and stopped their win streak just a couple days ago. So, they're a team that could really they could challenge somebody from the West, but it's the Rockets and the Warriors. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no,
that's
I
how
agree.
the NBA is.
It happens.
You want to do a quick Husker baseball update before we sign off?
Yeah, just a real quick one.
You got to work all the games this weekend.
I worked 3 out of the 4. Yes.
Yeah.
We lost. Yeah, Saturday was less than fun, but you persevere. When the games take 4 hours, it's not as fun. We played against Cal Poly for our first series at home. We lost the first game 13-5, I think. We won the second game 5-1. We won the third game 22-3, and we won the fourth game
22-3.
Yeah, we scored 13 runs in this bottom of the 7.
Oh my God. Hey, Husker baseball starting it off.
Won the fourth game, 13-2. So hey, Cal
3-1
Poly
over the weekend.
Yeah, Cal Poly's not a doormat. They're not a bad team. We come back this weekend, this Thursday, Friday, Saturday, with another series against Colorado State. I think. I'll be working 2 of those games, I think.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go try to find a ticket for our girls' tournament game, see if I can hit that up down in Kansas City.
You do that.
And we are done for the night. Thank you again for listening to the Second String.
Yes, thank you.
Appreciate you all tuning in. For Nate Milbach, I'm Alex Fernando. We will catch you in 2 weeks, as we will not have a show next week for spring break.
Indeed.
And go Big Red.
Hey, have a good one, guys.